Hello, real estate practitioners. My purpose of doing this presentation is to assist you with your risk assessment questionnaire. Now, the questionnaire is found on the Real Estate Board website, which is simply to type in reb.gov.jm and go directly to the Real Estate Board's website. On the front page of the website, and scrolling down to about midsection here, you'll see an icon or a banner indicating real estate dealers, AML risk assessment. Once you click on this, it should take you directly to the risk assessment questionnaire. All right. Now, there are some instructions for you to read before you proceed to complete the questionnaire. Basically, it says this questionnaire is an important information gathering exercise necessary for conducting an effective and informed assessment of money laundering, terrorist financing, risk in the real estate industry. Responses should be provided in the designated spaces in the questionnaire. If you identify a question or statement that is not applicable to your dealership, please leave it blank. In responding to the questionnaire, please be as detailed and truthful as possible, as inspectors will be conducting on-site inspections to substantiate the validity of the information provided. Dealer associates or dealers that work under another dealership are not required to fill out this questionnaire. However, they must contribute to the information gathering and ensure that their names are captured in the questionnaire at the section where it is required. Also, if dealer associate carries out transactions other than those transactions done under the dealership they are working with, then they are required to complete and submit the questionnaire reflecting those additional transactions. Now, in addition to this instruction, it also assists you with information as to how to save the questionnaire. The questionnaire is quite lengthy, and it may be required for you to, a requirement for you to save the questionnaire and go back to it at a later date. All right. So basically, this is what it is saying here. Save response, complete later. The progress bar at the bottom of the form will allow respondent to save and continue later, and then you can continue read the rest of the instruction there. Now, I had gone ahead to start completing this questionnaire just to run through it quickly, just to give you an idea as to what is required. First, you input your email address, right? And then you proceed to click on the arrow here. And once you click on the arrow, it will display some fields for you to input information. So for example, it asks for the dealer license number. Once you click here, it allows you to select DL, and then you put in your dealer number, then the name of your dealership. If you're operating a limited liability company, then you can put in a company name here. If you're a standalone dealer, then you put your name there, right? Here, it said, please specify your dealership type. Then you'll select whether it is a company, a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a sole proprietorship with trading name, right? So you select the appropriate one here. This one is Bronze Real Estate. So this is a company. So I selected company. Here it said, please indicate the number of persons operating in your dealership. So let's say my company, you would have a qualifying director operating within the dealership. And also you have a salesman under attachment. Now, salesman under attachment is basically a salesman that is employed to your dealership, but is being attached to become a dealer, right? So it is clearly, that person is clearly distinguished from a salesman that is working within your dealership. So a salesman working under the dealership now is just those salespersons who are just licensed to be are working as salespersons under your dealership or salesman. If you have an administrative staff, let's say you have one staff, it could be a customer service rep or a receptionist, then you indicate that there. If you have a dealer who is just sharing office space, they don't conduct business under your dealership or under your business letterhead, then you can put the number of dealer there who's just sharing office space. Are there other dealers other than the qualifying director working in your dealership? If the answer is yes, right. If it is no, you click no and you go ahead. If it's yes, once you click yes, it is gonna display 2B1, which allows you now to input the name of the dealers, the additional dealers other than the qualifying director who is working within the company. And here at the right-hand side, it indicates, it said, does dealer practice all areas specified under his or her license with your dealership? If it is yes, you select yes. If it is no, you select no. In this case, there are two dealers working under this company at the dealership. One practice in all areas and the other does not, right? Then you proceed. It says, please indicate how long the dealership has been in business. So if it is 5 years, you select, you put in a 5, and here it gives you the option to select whether it be month or days or years, right? So that's what it is. It said, please indicate the types of services provided by your dealership. List any other services in the space provided. So in this case, the dealership here is practices real estate sales, rental, leases, auctioneering, appraisal, property management, all areas of practice. This dealership practices. If there's any other additional areas that you are practicing in, then you can make us know, right? But these are the primary areas that we are aware of that should be outlined on your license. On a scale of 1 to 5, please rank the following services in order of most important to least important to your business, with 1 being the most important and 5 being the least. So here, let's say your dealership heavily focuses on real estate sales, then the highest rank here would be 1. If heavily focus on rental and leases, then it would be 1. Auctioneering, your dealership doesn't do much of that, then you put it at 5. Appraisals, just do a few, then you put it at 2. Property management, heavily focus on that, then you put it on 1. Otherwise, then depending on the scale, you can select how the importance of each of these areas to your business. Question 4C said, on a scale of 1 to 5, please state which of the following services account for the majority of revenue for your business, with 1 being the highest revenue and 5 being the least. So here, similar to question 4B, you select the one with the highest rating for your dealership, right? You proceed, it said, if you manage properties, please state the number of residential and commercial clients your dealership manages from January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019. I should indicate at the initial stage of my presentation that the period that we expect to collect information on is between January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019, right? Now, this will require you to at least look back at your records for 2016 coming forward, right? This one should be 2016 here, right? Should ensure that this is placed there, right? So for residential clients or property management, then let's say in 2016 you have 5 residential clients, and then there were no commercial, and you put 0. 2017, no commercial, but for residential, you put 0. So depending on the level of business that your company has with property management in these specific years, then you can indicate it in the slots here. If you do not carry out property management, you just simply put 0 in all the slots here, and then you proceed, right? Based on the instruction that I read, if you attempt to proceed without inputting information in all these fields, then it will not allow you, because the fields with the asterisk indicate that they are mandatory. So you must input, if you do not practice property management, ensure that you input a 0 in the spaces that are provided here. You proceed, please state what kind of anti-money laundering due diligence is carried out on the property management clients. And I indicate some example here: completion of a customer information form, collection of identification, collection of proof of address, and any other documents that is relevant to the transaction, such as power of attorney, right? That is necessary depending on how your dealership is operating and what information you collect on those property management clients. The next step is to state the total revenue gain from your property management clients from January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019. I said before, this one should indicate December. I'm sorry, 2016. So you'd start here to input the data. So what you'll have to do is, when your revenue here is basically the amount of revenue that you would collect on behalf of the property management entity that you are managing, right? So let's say in 2016, you collect $20 million for them, you just put in a 20 million. If you have no corporate clients, you just put 0. If you didn't collect any money, anyway, you didn't collect any money, you can just simply put 0 and you proceed. Kind of state if you open a client account for your property management clients. If you said no, then you select no and you proceed. If you select yes, then it is going to prompt you now to kind of state the number of accounts created for your property management clients. If you created 2, let's say you are managing 2 properties, then of course you may want to assist in creating 2 property management accounts, if that is the case, and you are the dealer and your dealership manages those accounts, then you indicate that it is 2. If it's 1, you select 1, depending on the amount of accounts that you need to create. So in this case, 2 is selected. It said, please provide statistics on the volume of units sold and the total transaction value for each year for the period January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019. And it says here, note briefly, if you are both listing and the, I think it's purchasing agent here for a transaction, the figure and value should be reported under the listing agent only. So let me explain here. Let's say now in 2016, you list 20 properties and you were successfully able to complete those sales. Then you would indicate those 20 properties. You are the listing agent. Let's say you are the purchasing agent or you co-broke with the dealership that lists the property. In this case, there are 3 transactions this company completed. So they are not the listing agent in this case for these transactions. So you record that information here. Now, under the total transaction value for listing agent for these 20 properties that you have sold as a listing agent, then you will calculate the total value of those properties that are outlined on the sale agreement for those properties and put the value here. The same thing for those that you have co-broke or you were the purchasing agent. I should correct here, right? So you'll put the information right here, the total transaction value, and you'll do the same. If there is no transaction, then you put 0, and then for the figures, you put 0 just the same, right? So you can populate the fields with 0 if there is no transaction. Just ensure that something is there. It is the same thing here for units or property. Rented, you would input the information just the same, right? It said, please provide statistics on the volume of property appraised and the total transaction value for each year for the period January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019. That is the same thing you'll do for your appraisal for those persons who carry out appraisals. If you are a dealer who does not engage in appraisal or valuation, as we may call it, then you simply put 0, right? And all the spaces here in all the fields. Right, when you proceed, please indicate how many real estate sales your dealership facilitated on behalf of trust or trustees. And it can be a case where the trustees are minors, if any, over the period January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2019, you record it. So, for example, you may be approached by a client to sell a property, and when you collect the information on that property, you realize, for example, that is a limited liability company, but the company may be owned by a trust. Then what we'd want to know is just simply tell us the figures that you have dealt with in 2016, how many of those that you have dealt with in 2016, how many you have dealt with in 2017, and so forth. Right? So that is how would have dealt with that one. It said, please state the category of trustees, whether they are lawyers, individuals, banks. Just indicate the category of trustees that engage with those trusts. Right? So it can be a case where it is a trust, and there are probably, with that trust, there are probably 5 trustees or 2 trustees. Then you would indicate that there. Right? So you have dealt with 2 trusts, and the total amount of trustees with those 2 trusts are probably 2 or 4 who indicated there. All right, it said, please specify the total transaction value in Jamaican dollars for each category of customer in a table below. The table below, sorry. So again, this requires you to really sit and go through your information and record some data here. It may take some time. I doubt it if you're gonna be able to complete this form in one go. So I'm gonna show you in a short while how to save the form and go back to the form and complete it. Try and input the information as accurate as possible. So for 2016, the corporate, the local clients that you have dealt with. So for example, let's say you deal with 5 companies, whether it be sales, rental, leases, appraisal, or property management, put the total amount that you have dealt with here under that category, right? In 2017, if you have not dealt with any, then you put 0. 18, none, 0. 19, none, 0. Corporate international, so if you have dealt with a company who operate outside, international in this sense mean that a company will operate outside of Jamaica, right? For those who you have dealt with in 2016, let's say you have dealt with 1 in that category, you put 1. 2017, you have dealt with 2, you put 2. 2018, none, you put 0. And that's how you proceed for this one. Let's say for politically exposed persons, and this would be for like senior police officers, military persons, parliamentarians, or heads of agencies. All of these persons are classified as politically exposed persons. And of course, they can be local politically exposed persons, they can be international politically exposed persons. They are, whether they are local or international, they are considered to be PEPs. So those persons are the number of persons you have dealt with over those years, then you can just simply input it. So let's say in 2016, I've dealt with 3, 2017, you have dealt with 2, and so on. 18, none, you put 0, 19, none, you put 0. And you'll populate the entire fields as necessary here, just to ensure that all the fields are completed, right? And basically, that is how you approach dealing with this questionnaire, completing this questionnaire, right? Now, once you start completing the questionnaire, inputting some data, and you have to discontinue what you're doing. With a simple proceed to save the form. So you'll click right here. Please verify that you are human. So you click right there and follow the instruction. It said select all squares with traffic lights. Depending on when you click yours, it will give specifically, it will indicate specifically what you need to select. And you click on verify. So it verify that section, and then you click on save, and it will attempt to save the information. Let's see what happened. All right. So you'll come up here. So your form has been saved as a draft. I didn't want you to do this because I wanted to show you something. Basically, what will happen is that this dialog box will appear, and you'll be able now to click on save, and it will save your form to your email address. So when you want to retrieve your document, just simply go in the email address, and then it will allow you to click on the link in the email address, and you can come right back to the form and complete the form there, right? So basically, in a nutshell, this is how you would have completed the risk assessment questionnaire. There are a lot of sections here. What I've just gone through is just one of the many sections. So once you have completed that one, then you can proceed, click on the arrow there and proceed to input the additional information until you have successfully completed this form. It is very important that all real estate dealers complete the risk assessment questionnaire. Where you fail to complete the questionnaire, then it can be a problem, or you can run into some problem with the real estate board. So please ensure that you complete the risk assessment questionnaire. Right? If you are experiencing issue completing the questionnaire, communicate with me at the real estate board. My number is 876-802-5254. So I just want to quickly add the correct way of saving the form. So basically you scroll down to the bottom of the form here, scroll right down. And as I said before, you indicate that you're not a robot. You click on that section there and follow the instructions. Select all images with bicycles. These are the images. Then you select verify, and it verifies it. And then you click on save. Now just scroll up a little, and you should see this form comes up. This section comes up. Now this is what I wanted to show you. The one previously didn't have this section on it. So you're going to ignore all of this, right? All of this section here, and come right down to skip create an account, and just click on that, and then it takes you to this section. Now, if you already input your email address in the form, then it will appear here, right? As it is showing now for me. And then all you need to do from there is to simply click and send link. So let me do it again. I'll just go back to show you. So when you click on save and you reach this stage, do not select any of these options here. Just go directly down by the bottom here, and let's see where you see skip create and that's where you'll select skip create an account, and you select that, takes you here, and then you said send link. And what it does is to send a link directly to your email address with the saved form. So whenever you want to go back in the on the form, you just simply go in your email and click on the form. I should also tell you that if you intend to go back on the form using the same computer, then I think once you click, you come on the website and click on it, then it is going to prompt you or ask you if you want to discard or continue. So you could just simply click continue. All right. So quickly, if I go in my email, you see it right here. So I can just click on it, and you'll see the link in my email, and it says continue form.